For a generation, China has been using government-subsidized utility rates and weak environmental and safety standards to become the factory to the world. By 2015, China accounted for 28% of global auto production, 41% of all ship production, more than half of refrigerators sold worldwide, 70% of mobile phones, 60% of shoes, and 8 out of every 10 air conditioners and computers made on the planet. And much of China's economic dominance has been achieved through aggressive practices that fall outside of global norms and rules of business and trade. Now, state-sponsored intellectual property theft and commercial espionage by China give U.S. companies a greater reason for concern. Estimates of cost of trade secret theft alone range between $180 billion and $540 billion annually. In response to these damaging practices to American business, President Trump has aimed tariffs at Chinese imports to force China to the negotiating table. Some consider these tariffs to be the salvation of U.S. industry. Wellborn Cabinet Incorporated has over 57 years of experience in high-quality cabinetry craftsmanship, and yet they still manage to stand despite the overwhelming challenges from China.
American people are the most innovative people, I believe, anywhere.
We have 1,500 employees here that we care deeply about.
They treat me as a family.
We pray for one another when people are in need. Everybody seems to have each other's back.
On a level playing field, nobody can outrun the spirit of an American manufacturer.
From start to finish, we build our own buildings and make our own parts, have our own sawmill. We deliver on our own trucks.
We support free trade, but it needs to be fair.
Given the extent of China's market-distorting policies and stated intent to dominate world industries, their economic aggression not only threatens families like Wellborn Cabinet Incorporated, but the entire U.S. economy and global innovation as a whole.
My next guest created and carried the vision for Wellborn Cabinets forward, from a daydream moment in school to the high-quality products that are made and the talented team that he leads today, all in spite of China's unfair competition. He's joined by his wife, Betty, his son, Stephen. They all help lead their company of over 1,400 employees. Would you please welcome Paul, Betty, and Stephen Wellborn. Great having you guys here.
Thank you,
I love a great American story, and Wellborn Manufacturing is a great American story. Paul, I understand, did it really start with a daydream? Is that true?
Well, somebody said that one time, Governor, but they said I was looking out the window in school when I should have been studying. But they said I was looking at a tree to see what I could make out of it. But I don't remember that part of it, but how it really started, I remember my father carried my brother and I out to the job site, building homes, when I was just kids. And so around when I was 12 or 13 years old, my brother and I built our first 12-foot kitchen.
Is that right?
In one of the houses he was building.
That's pretty good. And from there, 1,400 employees, you have business in all 50 states. You make cabinets for homes. So it's a specialty industry. But you've been hit hard in competition from the way China does business, and I think you would probably say it hadn't been all that fair.
But when it comes to China and their trade practices, subsidies, you cannot compete because they are guaranteed to win. And you can't compete against that, Governor, and we're beginning to see more and more of that. And I have watched the furniture business for many years, and when it went out, 120, 140 plants closed, it was, we're getting in that same position now in the cabinet business, and we need to really get these tariffs on, and I applaud the president for what he is doing.
Now, a lot of people are unhappy with the president. They say the tariffs are a terrible idea. It's going to make it more difficult for companies to succeed. But a lot of the manufacturers, like you say, it's the only way to force China to come and play a fair game.
You know, absolutely. The tariffs, some people may say they are a problem, but when you're looking at prices sometimes that is 40 and 50% under your market, you can take your labor and material costs completely out of it, and they're still under the market.
So what is it that they do that makes it cheating, not just good competition?
Governor, I'll give you, for instance, we have a supplier to our industry, the Hardwood Plywood Association, that petitioned our federal government to do an investigation, and we just awarded tariffs on their product coming that was being dumped by China. They found it took 200% tariffs and duties to just level the playing field. That's how far the Chinese were dumping. They were providing the raw materials to some of these companies at no charge so they could come and compete and dump product into this industry.
I don't know if a lot of Americans understand that the long-term goal is if they can put you out of business, then they can raise their prices to more than you ever charge for a cabinet, but they can't do it as long as you're competing. That's right.
When they put any specific industry out of business, they can raise the prices and move on and start making profits in that product and attack another industry. So
one of the things that I saw in the video that Juan did, the employees of the company obviously are more than just workers to you. They're family. That's right. And I heard even one of the people say, we pray for each other. We have each other's backs. I'm not sure that's what we would hear in a Chinese factory.
Probably might not be allowed, and it'd have to be a silent prayer, I'm sure. But we have such good people throughout our company, Governor. They're so dedicated, and that's what this is about, is keeping jobs for Americans. They've been so dedicated through the years. They stay there till the trailers are loaded, and we have a vast product, and it's not easy to build. But they do a wonderful job, and we have some of the best people in the United States working in our company, and I thank God for them.
You know, I think it's so important when I see a company like yours. You've got 1,400 employees, but you don't treat them as if they're just a blob of 1,400 people. Betty, as kind of the matriarch of the family, how important is it to you that the atmosphere of the company is like a family? Why does that matter?
Well, as a mother and a grandmother and a great-grandmother now, we felt the need to have a daycare at our facility. We have 40–50% women that we employ, so we put a daycare, and so the children can stay. To keep us physically fit, we put us in a gym. And then we have a full-time nurse that's on staff, and we have a doctor that comes in 3 days a week. The employees can see the doctor at no cost. We have a cafeteria that provides warm meals. So like I said, we like to treat our employees like families because our family works there. And so that's why they are so important to us, yeah. So.
It's like your own little town over there. You got all these services. If there was a message you could give to the House, the Senate, to the President, to the federal government, what would your message be, Paul?
My message today, where our cabinet business and many other industries is level that playing field for us, and we'll stay in business, and banks and businesses that go out of business when plants shut down will thrive on, and we'll have communities that, as Americans, we can be proud of.
There's a lot of people that start getting hurt when an American business closes. But how optimistic are you for the future of American manufacturing? Because we've had presidents recently that said, those jobs are never coming back, we're never going to manufacture again. And I'm concerned because I think we need to be able to make things. Are you optimistic that we can get back to that place where we make things in America?
I think that if American people understand this situation, that if we don't do something and level this playing field, I think that things can change, and I think the right people can be put into office that will care about our business and our people's jobs. Sometimes people in the front office don't understand how important it is for the people out in the factories. They have children, they have home payments, house payments, car payments, and they have to take care of their family and feed them. And I think once that's understood in this country, I truly believe this country can certainly turn around because we have the most innovative people in the world. I believe that.
I think we do too. And I'm so proud of what your company, not only what you do, even more proud of what you represent. You represent a compassionate company that sees its people as its most valuable single resource. I think that's a smart company. I truly believe it's why you guys have been in business and stayed in business when other people didn't, because they never understood that human capital is the most important capital you have. And Paul, God bless you. I hope you have greater success than ever. I hope Wellborn cabinets continue to thrive, and that it just says that when we build something in America, we build it to last, and we build it the right way by the right kind of people. God bless you, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Governor.
Great to have you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Let me encourage you to learn more about their amazing company. Just visit wellborn.com. And I hope you research what the president is actually doing to stand for American business and manufacturing so he can create a fair and even playing field in the global marketplace.